Bitcoin Gaussian channel update across multiple time frames. We're going to start off on the low hourly chart so you can know what to focus on the rest of today. And then we'll zoom out to the 4 hour, daily, weekly, get the bigger picture on where the hell we're at. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Telegram, Patreon for more content. Let's get right going. The red channel, right? That's where we're at. We're stopped below it. We're bearish by definition on the low time frame, right? Just anytime you're underneath this median line, see this thicker line in here, right? Look at all the candles, right? How they're all pretty much red, even if they're green. And you go over here, right? You see how you're above, as soon as you close above the median line on this Gaussian channel, you can start to turn more bullish. That's when candles start to turn this fluorescent color, right? That's what we're looking for. Right, we've had a couple of attempts even in the past, even last hour, right? A few minutes ago, even we tried to get back above here. We're unable to close, right? It won't do it until you close up here, right? So right now we're battling that as resistance, but we haven't done that in a while, right? We haven't done that since our move down here, but previous support flips to resistance on any time frame usually, right? Here's our drop down, support again, retested, broken. Now we come back up, trying to find our equilibrium, and now look at what we're doing, right? Resistance at the same level, resistance. So for today, that's what we're looking for. At least they close back above the median line. We haven't been able to do it since our drop down here last Friday, right? We've just been stuck down here. So that's what a good early sign to look for is, closing above 30K. And then, not only that, but turn some of these bars green, multiple, and then, let's climb back above our channel around 30,200, right? And then we can start to turn the channel green, and then, happier times come for the bulls again, and we can have our bigger moves, right? You see how we turn bullish, turn fluorescent green, and then you just start to, work your way up. So that's what we're looking for on the short time frame. So let's zoom out to the 4 hour, see if there's anything else we can, extrapolate here. So relatively clean chart, right? We're just using moving averages and our Gaussian channel. We have flipped red on the Gaussian, right, as of per result of the move down. So we're holding support on this EMA 200 down here, right? Look at the support here, right? So we don't want to flip that and close under that to resistance, right? That's around 29.7 as of right now. Steadily kind of moving sideways, slightly increasing. So if we come back down here today, tomorrow, whenever, right? That's what we want to hold, right? We can go down below it with a wick, but we want to be holding that with closes. 1, 2, 3, 4 tests and 4 successful holds. You don't want to be breaking it, right? And we don't really want to test it again. I would like to kind of reverse earlier than later, and put in a higher high here, right? And then this is that same line on the hourly chart, right? We're just holding that as resistance so far. We have a long ways to go to start to turn our bars fluorescent green here. Where as of right now, we're looking at 30,500, which is kind of our equilibrium where we've been for the past like 30 days, just chopping sideways. That's kind of our midway point right there, right? So keep that in mind if we start to move up, right? We can turn more bullish again after 30,500, and likely more upwards swing if you get that, right? Here's our where we first closed above it, right? Likely a sign of things to come, right? Here's our move back to the upside, right? Bulls start to make a bigger appearance. That's why the Gaussian channel is tracked, but using it on shorter time frames, it can flip-flop back and forth. That's why the 5-day is really the secret, least amount of fake outs, and just more concrete in your thinking there. So we're keeping this line of support and resistance on the 4 hour. Let's see if it has anything to do with one more thing I wanted to mention real quick here. The pattern that I'm seeing develop on the 4 hour here, right? So our move down, right? You can see our move down here. And then what we're doing is we're putting in, lower lows, right? But we're also putting in lower highs, right? Kind of a falling channel, right? After a move down and a falling channel, this tends to break to the upside, right? So if you invert this chart, right, you spring down in a rising channel, tends to fall down this way, right? So just monitoring that. Doesn't have to play out because it's just a 4 hour chart, right? If this is the weekly chart, probably play out, right? It did play out on the weekly chart. If you go back and look at the weekly from the bear market, last of the bear market, very similar patterns here. So we're just looking to really, climb back up the ladder, 30,001, 30,002, and then, on the 4-hour, 30,005 is really where we turn back more macro bullish. So daily, let's zoom out one more, right? See what else we got going, right? On the Gaussian channel, we're green. We're still green on the Gaussian. That top line in the Gaussian around 29.5. The 50-day EMA right there at 29.3. That also is going to come back into play on the weekly chart. So keep these levels in mind. 29.5, 29.3 could be big if we move down lower. On the daily chart, it's really just, we're still in that damn zone, right? We really haven't moved much outside of this, right? Look at our closing prices here, right? We haven't closed today. We'll see if today's our lowest close, right? Who knows? Or, I'm going to rhyme more like Dr. Seuss. See how it goes. All right, so we'll see how this ends up closing, but I more or less, we're just chopped sideways, right? We're still bullish because we're in an uptrend all of 2023, by definition, right? That's where we're at. So you got to lean bullish. The moving averages moving up. The Gaussian channel is green on the daily. We're above the daily Gaussian channel. We're having, just bullish scenarios all across so far, right? We haven't seen much out of the bears. And in fact, very little evidence, even on this chart, of anything bearish so far, right? So let's zoom out. Let's just jump to the weekly, for the 4 of you that are still here. Good news is look at the Gaussian channel on the weekly, kind of rounding out here. I do want to go back to the pause, redo on the 5-day, right? The 5-day, right? That's the reason we're looking at the damn Gaussian channel, right? The 5-day Gaussian. We're green. Obviously, you should know that by now. We bounced off the top of the channel. We're now holding above. We wicked right to the 8 EMA on the 5-day, right to the dollar, right on it. Right, previous candles here, right? Could it be all we need? Of course. Stuttering Stanley says so. We could bounce from here and go back up to, if we break back above 31.5, not only are we going to new 2023 highs, obviously, we would likely go to, I think, mid-30s at that point. Why mid-30s? Well, you look at the weekly chart, and that's kind of our lows here. 37K. To, this is our new zone, right? This becomes our new zone. There's nothing else above it, right? There's no other ways that this would be kind of a resistance flip to, we just kind of just get stuck in here maybe, right? Or get up in this area, hit our head up in upper 30s, and then come back down and hold this as support. This is previous resistance, likely flip to support. If we move higher, that's what I'd be looking for. So just wanted to note that on the 5-day Gaussian channel, still green, bounced, and holding above all moving averages, still looking good. So let's see if this zone kind of still holds true on the weekly chart. You could kind of make it a little bit sharper here. I would right in there, all the way up to, I would say low, right under 40K, right? So you can see our resistance. Here's our previous, bull market lows. We kind of held this top line here a little bit, and then, previous support, flip to resistance here, send it down, nuke, and then we tried to come back up, go back down again, and now we're here again testing. So if we get back up in here, I think, upper range, mid 30s to upper 30s, and then, hopefully hold this as support, weeks, months later, likely, right? So let's remove that and see where we're at now. We're on the verge of turning the Gaussian channel green on the weekly. That would be huge, right? A weekly Gaussian channel is massive, and we could get it in the next close. 4 days, 10 hours from now. So that would be big time bullish, right? So we're now in this upper section, right? Look at the respect shown to the median Gaussian channel. Historically, Bitcoin has never crossed back below the median line after getting above it, right? So, and we didn't do it this time either. And do we think we're going to go back lower? No, I do not think we're going back under the median line, especially if we turn this channel back green. Why would bears have very little argument here, right? Definition, yeah, the channel's still red. We're above all moving averages. It's about to turn green. We're in an uptrend for the past 6 months. And we haven't even flirted with any moving averages. So even the highest moving average is the EMA 8. We haven't even touched yet, right? So bears don't have a leg to stand on at this point. By definition, if we move down, EMA 8 at, let's get an exact number for you. 29,270 as of right now, but it will fluctuate, probably 29,2-ish if we went down there this week, right today. It will start to flex down a little bit, but previous candle close right here, 29.2. I like it. Top of the Gaussian channel, 28.5. EMA 14 on the weekly, 28.5. EMA 21, this would be kind of our worst case scenario for me for a wick. 27.6 if we were like just to have an epic kind of meltdown. I don't really see that happening, barring some kind of crazy news, a rejection of an ETF or something like that, or some kind of black swan event. Obviously could take us wherever, but barring that, I would see kind of a, look at the 100 week here, right in this blue. 100 week, 21 week, kind of right in there. A lot of safety nets between here and there. So 28, 27.6. That would be kind of a worst case scenario, but I wouldn't doubt if we just come down to here, or not, right? We could easily bounce from this level. But 29.3, excuse me. That would be kind of bulls. When you see this kind of move, usually we'll hold that top weekly moving average, right? So at least the first initial test, look back here, right? Big move up, come back, hold the EMA 8, move back higher again, but we were still trapped on the 200 week here, right? And then we kind of nuked down, still held EMA 21, rocket ship up, and now, pin it, falling formation, flag formation here from here, and bounced out of that. And now I would argue that we're in a new weekly mini flag formation, right? You have a move up, right? Lower highs, right into your weekly moving average, EMA 8, and then bounce again. So it might take another week or so, but that's the odds for me for now until I see, evidence in the other direction, right? Not a great looking weekly candle here, but you have to have context on these candles, right? If it was at the top of a rally or something like here, or, immediately right after, say we went to like 33K and then printed that right after this candle, yeah, that rally's probably over. But, 2 or 3 weeks just sideways doesn't really have the same weight to me as if it was at the, eclipse of this rally. So just weeks in, I would look more for a, just long leg doji candles, consolidation, much like we had, back in March, right? 1, 2, 3 weeks of consolidation, move off again, right? 1, 2, 3, some consolidation, could be 4, could be 5. We'll see. We still have 4.5 days till we close this candle. So patience is what is needed here most of all, right? This will do your best to fake you out and make you give up your position to more long-term holders. Don't fall for it, right? We're in a bull market trend. We're in an uptrend. Bulls win in all scenarios here. We're above all the moving averages. You must be bullish by definition. Okay, so in my rant there, hopefully you found this a little bit helpful. Thumbs up if you haven't already. Let's do our quote of the day, which we will need to refresh. Better keep yourself clean and bright. You are the window through which you must see the world. George Bernard Shaw, great quote there. Car of the day, McLaren P1. I want to show you the actual model car that I have. It's it's the biggest one I have. It's the 1/10 scale. This is massive. I mean, I'm 6'1". I have pretty giant hands, and this is huge. So this is all like custom finish. I got this at the end of the last bull run. It's quite expensive, but it's like actual McLaren paint. It's real carbon fiber too on parts of it. Everything's to exact spec here. So until I can get the real one, this will have to do. But the wing even adjusts. Everything's like legit here. The doors go up and down, obviously. Pretty sick. So McLaren P1, solely yellow. That's the color. That's the car of the day, week, month, year. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully up only mode. Maybe early 2024. First time I can really see that. Until then, patience and, just buying on the dips. Buy the dips. That's in a bull market, you buy the dips. In a bear market, you sell the rips. That's enough rhyming for today. Get me out of here.